So some people believe that Miss Harris didn't have enough effort to be pushed out there like others did, even though she was an attorney general and she was a U.S. Senate before running for president for 3 terms, and she lost all three times. She ran for president 3 times and she lost. I get that people believe she didn't have enough exposure. I'm your host Jeremiah, hosting this brand new reaction video, and I really do hope you all enjoy. But without any further ado, I will not keep you guys waiting any longer. I know you guys probably don't like my voice. I love my voice. I am amazing. I'm already successful in my mind. But I really do hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Ask the Democrats if they're due with Kamala.
For president?
Yes.
No.
19, 24, 2028.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, okay. All right. I didn't know about 19. 2019 she ran?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wasn't paying attention then.
I'm on board.
You're on board with it?
Yeah, I think she
There you
just
go.
needs more exposure.
Right.
Probably a good idea. I don't know what other options they have currently.
Yes.
You think she should run again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ow.
What do you guys think? Anyone else?
Fair shot.
What was that?
I don't think she had a fair shot.
3 times. She is 0-3. She is 0-3, and she didn't have a first shot.
Because I think she was a great candidate. I think she ran a great campaign, and I don't think people knew her well enough. And I'm not sure why during the Biden administration, why they didn't put her out there more, but they didn't. So
Because she's the VP, why would they need her to? She is an attorney general, and she was a former U.S. Senate. I don't think she needs any more exposure.
people didn't know her.
You said that other people are saying that she should try again, and I think that's only because she's top of mind.
That's absolutely correct.
So just because of the recency bias, which, like, yes, I'm all for it. Like, I think Kamala Harris was a very...
She's over. I don't think she was a very good candidate at all. Her campaign was sloppy. She wasn't even voted in. She was kind of just placed there and expected to be handed the candidacy. And she was lying multiple times. And her actual procedures, her actual policies, no one knows what they are. And that's somewhat problematic.
very competent person to run for president.
I think I'm moving on. I don't know who.
Yeah, I noticed. I saw that. I'm not the only one who picked that up. He just saw that at the camera like, nah, he ain't have to do it like that.
Two, I think that in the process of her running that she was labeled and branded in a certain way, that stigma is not going to go away.
You as a
I would appreciate it, right? I will understand your points if this is her third time trying to run. That I get the first time and maybe the second, but 3 different times she tried to run for president and she failed all 3 times. So at this point, I'm not sure if it's just a stigma or people just don't like her or she was branded a certain way. When we go fact check other videos, her policies are saying she would do things that most people in the general public would not agree with or would not align themselves with. And no, I'm not defending Trump in any of his actions. Absolutely not. I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat, but I kind of push more towards conservative because I'm a Christian. I like godly things. And no, Trump is not godly. Nowhere near godly as of now. Hopefully he can change. But no, her policies, they're somewhat problematic and she didn't give that flow. She had this weird cackle to her, this weird vibe and this odd feeling. And yet again, no one knows her policies and she doesn't know how to do a straight interview. There was an interview she did a couple months ago where she says, hey, I'm a mirror. When you ask me a question, I'm gonna go home and research it and then I'm gonna come back to you. And that's, firstly, why would she say that? That's problematic and that's weird. And I don't know if she actually is laughing about it. Let's say like, hey, I'm gonna go back home knowing full well you never want to see that guy again. Absolutely, that's weird. You just never, and she didn't answer any questions specifically. And when she was answered the basic questions, when she had a little bit of pressure put on her, she was kind of folded and fooled.
Democrat, are you in favor of that, or is it okay? Hey,
Oh my god! I just realized I was rumbling, and most likely people don't even know what I said. That's something like depressing.
hey, let's move on. You're saying move on?
Move on.
Why is that?
She had her chance and didn't perform.
Definitely ditch Kamala.
Ditch Kamala.
Yeah,
Why is that?
She wasn't even voted to be primary in the first place. They kind of shoehorned in there.
You, as a more conservative person, do you think Kamala Harris should run again in 2028?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Why do you think so?
I like that last guy. I mean, I'm not going to cuss, but I like that last guy.
So the Republicans can sweep again.
Okay.
She alienates too
No, I like this answer too. At least he was real with it.
many voters.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a bad idea to choose her again to run.
I think she's gonna go away and sip on her wine and do what she should have been doing, which is just sitting on the sidelines and watching the Trump show. Kamala, total loser. Quite frankly, I'm surprised
All right, that's funny. I like that guy. He's kind of funny.
she's even still living in the country.
I think they've already made a mistake with her in 2024. Why repeat the same mistake?
Yeah.
Because obviously she was
19, 20, and 24. 3 times. And she failed all of them.
not the favorite choice.
You know, we do have a handful of Democrats that are saying she's going to be great, she'll do it again. People didn't know her well enough. What would your response to that be? People didn't know Kamala well enough.
You can't erase the internet, and you can't erase all her ramblings. Talking about switching the covers of a lid for a Starbucks cup so her lipstick wouldn't show on it isn't presidential policy.
Yeah.
Immigration, fighting crime, inflation. Those are the policy people care about, not Starbucks.
I like this guy. He's actually giving a real interest instead of trying to insult someone. I like him. He's real.
Cups.
Well, you guys, the world feels more unstable than ever. Inflation's eating away at our savings, markets are flipping up and down, and our financial system is broken. We've all been told to work harder and trust the system, but the system as it exists now isn't built to serve you. It's built to survive off you. Waiting for the system to fix itself isn't a strategy. It's gambling with your channel enjoyer. Can't touch it. Roll into getuptoclude.com.
How do you, given her track record,
form.com. I'll put
in primary in 2028 against other candidates, given her track record?
Well, 100%. I think she would do great. I mean, she's a former public defender, right? She can
I'm not going to cut that out.
definitely, as a prosecutor, hold her own with some of the best in the world, what I believe.
So look at San Francisco as of now and say it's great. Crime is at an all-time high and it's great. I don't think she performed well enough. I don't think she did a relatively good job.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but
heck, look at Cali now. Look what she did over there. Yeah. Oh my God, San Francisco is a city in Cali. Forgot about that. Yeah, but like, wait, hold on, is San Francisco Cali? Yes, I was right. It is Cali.
But the reason that I believe she lost is because 20% of the Democrats didn't come out and vote. I mean,
you don't think she lost because of her policies? You just think she lost because other people didn't vote? You don't see how that's an oxymoron? How that doesn't really make any sense?
She would have won.
There's a lot of Democrats that say
how she didn't win. It doesn't matter if they came out or voted or not. She didn't win because she didn't have good policies. People wasn't connecting with her. People did not see her as a valuable to actually be the head general, the man in the chair, or woman in the chair in that case, and they didn't see her as fit to actually see her as fit to run our country properly.
This as well when it comes to her not being decisive under pressure, her not being very good with interviews.
Really?
You disagree with that?
I totally disagree.
She was atrocious in each and every single last one of her interviews she did. I even seen a few interviews. She did not do well in a single one of them. She's worse than me. It's like watching someone with social anxiety and somebody who's known to stick into the script crack under pressure.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is that?
Were you fact checking anything that she said? I mean, if you look at her competitor Trump, okay? I mean, do you think he was decisive? Do you think tell me what you think about his interview.
Yes, because he's currently 2-0 right now. He's a businessman. I wouldn't have him as president, but he did a decent job running the country.
Skills.
Yeah, no, I think it's a reasonable question for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not so much talking about like the fact checking. I'm talking about being able to sit down and do an interview with maybe opposition and be comfortable doing that.
She did in fact do an interview with a little bit of opposition, and she folded massively. She fumbled.
Donald Trump did that way more than Kamala Harris. In fact, when it came to Donald Trump would do 3-hour conversations. He would do hour podcasts. Where Kamala Harris, there is no examples of her doing that. And the reason why she didn't do that is just because her team didn't trust her with longer interviews.
You really think so?
Yes, ma'am.
You honestly think so? Where do you get that information?
Well, I mean, we can use Joe Rogan for an example. They were trying to get like 40 minutes on Joe Rogan instead of the normal 3 hours,
So you understand
but we
that
can do Call Her Daddy podcast. It was like 20 minutes. We can do her 60-minute interview where, there was kind of a.
How about the presidential debate?
Yeah.
How about the presidential debate? Didn't you think she held her own?
No. I think she did okay on the presidential debate.
So why do you think she can do a presidential debate but can't give an interview?
Well, I don't know. But her team was
two different. The interview is not the same as a presidential debate because you're actively debating someone. You have to come up with answers on the fly, and her answers were probably pre-written down, and she had time to actually rehearse them. On the other hand, while podcast interviews, like on my channel, etc., you don't have time to proofread information. You don't have time to write down every single question, go over it like a script. It's on the fly, so you generally have to know the information on the top of your head.
Avoiding interviews for at least the first couple months. Do you not remember this?
Well, she did have a short period to run. You understand that, right?
But if you want to prove to the American people that you're good in interviews and you're decisive under pressure, shouldn't you be doing more than Trump? More?
I generally believe Biden might have won if he kept running. People didn't hate Biden. People didn't like him either. And he probably had a better opportunity at winning than Ms. Harris did.
Interviews than Trump?
Well, I think it was safe to say that she was putting in more than a 40-hour work week when she hit the campaign trail, and she was able to fundraise better than Trump during that time period. Wouldn't you agree?
No. She's almost... Hold on. I'm going to give y'all a little bit more. She spent $1 billion, right? The Trump campaign spent just about $375 million. And somehow, she's $20 million in debt. I don't see how that's better spending whatsoever. Oh, that's a better fundraising.
Yeah. Oh, I think. She raised. They went through $1.4 billion.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So what I think personally is that I don't think
most of that money went to celebrity hosts and celebrity endorsements. So they should know that the Avengers is racking up mad money.
Was able to get out the vote. She couldn't get out the Democrats. For some reason, the Democrats stayed home.
I think that
for some reason the Democrats stayed home because she sucked. She's not a good candidate whatsoever.
Being able to present yourself in front of a camera in an interview is a skill and a talent that some people have and others don't. She could be tremendously qualified to run the country. But if she doesn't come off that way when the hard questions come flying at her in an interview and she has to perform on cue and it doesn't work, then it doesn't sell.
Well, I mean, that's really, I'm not even saying anything other than that right here. I'm saying, she, even from pretty basic questions, she struggles to have a decisive answer in interviews. And so comparing that to other people like, let's say, Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or Josh Shapiro, they all outshine that. And I think that would make it so if people were voting for the Democratic candidate, they would not choose her. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think there are other potential candidates who know how to spar a little bit better than she does.
So I think the next 4 years would be very important for her in staying at the top of people's minds. People forget.
Even if she had lost 4 of these years, I still don't believe she's going to win this campaign whatsoever.
Stuff they saw on Instagram 3 swipes ago. So people remembering something that happened in this year, 2024, 4 years from now,
Right.
like, I'm not, like, it's all recency bias again. Like, I think whatever happens those months in 2027, I guess, like, when people are going to start doing their runs.
That's right.
Whatever happens then, that's what's going to decide. But I would like to see more. I would like to see a selection, and I would like to see a primary. I would like to have actual say in who should be running for the Democratic Party.
You didn't get that this time.
She didn't have to do any of that. They just pushed her into the limelight.
She did in 2019, actually.
Yeah, and in 2019 she failed miserably. That's why she did not even go to the primary in Iowa. I mean, it stopped right there at the beginning. So she does not have the background. Nice lady.
I mean, apparently people aren't aware of this. They keep saying she's actually the most qualified. When you look at her track record, she really isn't.
If you want to like her, that's fine, no problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we need a leadership in this country. The world is not the same way
She was the Senate of Cali, I believe, and look where it is now.
it used to be, so we definitely need to make sure that we have somebody that's going to lead this country out of the misery.
And I would love to see a woman be president, but I would not vote for her even if she was a Republican.
And again,
I don't know how she could possibly be a Republican in any
No,
way,
no.
but I understand your point. You're talking about voting for strength and competence, and you're not seeing her falling under that category.
No.
You don't vote based on sex. You don't vote based on skin pigment. You vote based on qualification.
Yo, that brother's a real one. You don't based on wait, I'm sorry. You don't pick based on the color of your skin, skin pigment. You don't pick on sex. You vote based on qualifications. And I like what he said. Oh my God, somebody's gonna clip that horribly. Oops.
Doesn't matter sex or skin pigment. Vote for them.
We might have to get you to talk to some people that we're talking to today, that's for sure. Given her track record as well, 2019, 2024, how do you think she would perform in an open primary?
We're going to vote in a woman. Eventually we will. And it just...
Why is that important? Why aren't you putting on eventually we're going to vote in a woman? Why is that important?
Depends on...
And secondly, she was a VP, so she did get voted in at one point.
When the time is right.
For you, is that a major reason for voting for Kamala Harris?
Not necessarily.
But it's just a bonus.
Yes.
A lot of people don't think women can come in.
So she's a woman. That's why she voted. Got it.
Stuff like this and be very strong.
So you think maybe it just has to do with her being more of a woman than anything else?
A lot of people don't like women being in power.
No, bro. You so zesty. That's the gayest response I ever heard. Nah, bro, she didn't win because people don't like women being in power. No, if Michelle Obama or Candace Owens would have ran for president, they most likely would have won. I mean, I would have voted for her. I actually would have went out and voted. Like, they definitely had a better opportunity of winning than Miss Harris did. Like, imagine the duo, Candace Owens and Michelle Obama. That duo would go crazy though. Would go crazy though. Yes, I don't know why I said it twice. I said it. Oh my God, I'm doing it again.
I think there's still a lot of misogyny and racism that also factored in.
Misogyny and racism, that's what people are calling for. It's not because people didn't like their politics, it's because they're misogyny. They don't like a woman in power and they're racist. That's what it's about, obviously. Of course that's what it's about. I don't even know why. When it comes down to things like this, it's always about race, politics, etc., etc. It's never about anything. It's never about anything actually important. It's just about how they look, if they're racist or not, or etc. It's annoying.
Into her getting trounced like that.
What do you think Kamala's greatest weaknesses are as a candidate? You know, what are her weaknesses?
Joe Biden was her greatest weakness.
I don't really see any weaknesses.
You know the audacity you have to have Joe Biden be someone's greatest weakness? How is he her weakness? He was literally in charge. He was running the country, and he was Obama VP. So how in the literal world would Biden be her weakness, but he wasn't Obama weakness? How does that make any sense? What that you know how idiotic and how stupid that sounds. I genuinely don't understand how people can come to that conclusion.
The problem with the Democrat Party right now is they're looking at every other excuse besides the reason they lost. The reason they lost is because their candidate was incompetent.
She has no clue what she's talking about a majority of the time. She couldn't even speak without a teleprompter. She refused to go on a few different interviews without having a pre-written speech for her, which I'm not a Trump supporter myself, but seeing how Trump was able to go on, say, what was that? Joe Rogan, I think?
Yeah,
and he just straight up did it. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to speak to the people that you're supposed to be representing. If you can't do that, how can I trust you?
One of her weaknesses is not being strong. She's not strong. She doesn't give people that impression that she's strong.
It doesn't have anything to do with being a man in a way. It doesn't look like she could be a competent leader, and that's the problem.
And that she's fit for that position.
She did not get a grasp of what we, the people in this country, really need or want, and she did not grasp what the state of the world is at nowadays. I mean, we're in a dangerous position. Quite frankly, I'm one of those that believe that if she had won, God forbid, we would be on the verge of World War III. And I think
and the sad part is, most people won't know that out, but there's probably more truth in that than most people realize. We probably would have been on the brink of war if she won.
It's a different world. It's not like where we can play kumbaya with just about everybody. You've got to make sure that you lead.
I'm going to interpret that a little bit more, basically what I just said. And people already don't like the U.S. People in the world, leaders, they think we're weak. And giving America a weak leader at a time like this is probably, most likely, isn't the best case scenario we can have right now. It probably would have been a really, 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 really bad thing if she would have won. China probably would have attacked Thailand, which we lose one of our biggest supply in chips. Oh, it would have been bad.
This world.
People who I knew on all sides of the political spectrum were not feeling comfortable with her. Just her responses, her presence in front of the camera, kind of the way she
didn't have a camera nor people face, and that's what people didn't like.
She speaks a lot but doesn't actually say much.
Well, she's unlike what the news said. I think she's fairly smart person.
Kamala comes across really stupid.
I mean, she can't hold a conversation. You talk about.
I don't think she's dumb. She's a U.S. Senator. She went to law school, for heaven's sake. I don't believe she's a dumb person. It's just that people don't see the education facts do. I'm going to give her that props. I'm pretty sure a dumb person wouldn't be able to make it as far as she did.
About 3 hours on Joe Rogan. She wouldn't even make 10 minutes because she can't sit there and have a common conversation. I mean, like when she went on that lady, what was that?
Call Her Daddy podcast.
I mean, she went through.
Nah, I'm never gonna say call her. I'm not saying that.
My understanding is that her and the Democrats, this is how fake these people are. It's called being real. She went and actually put together a stage that she was going to be doing it for like $100,000. And even the lady that did the go whatever that daddy thing is, the lady that did that.
Yeah. No, I can't. Hi, Dad. No. Hi, Daddy. No, stop. Call me Daddy. Stop. No, I can't do it.
She said she has a wonderful studio, with marble and all this other stuff didn't cost that. So it's just the mindset of what they do. They have no clue how to run a government. That's why you like Trump as a businessman.
What direction would you guys like to see the Democratic Party going in for 2028? Somebody more moderate than Kamala Harris or somebody further to the left?
I do not agree that Kamala Harris was so far to the left. I mean, you Californians, how do you think of her? I think she's pretty middle of the road. She's pretty pro-business. She is pro-climate action, which is a great thing. Does that make her far left?
She had some positions that were pretty aggressive in 2019, 2020.
Yes.
She compared ICE, like deporting illegals, to like the KKK, and she believes in she did, at least at that time, believe in decriminalizing illegal immigration. There would be a couple things that were...
Why would you decriminalize people walking into this country illegally? And God forbids we have a little bit of control over that. Yo, America is a home where immigrants can come. A bunch of Americans, probably second generation immigrants, or third or fourth generation immigrants. And America is literally land of the free, where people could come in and make a better life for themselves. But the same thing is, we're suffering right now because of the low policies they have on illegal immigration, because they literally have millions of people coming in almost monthly. And that's kind of the problem. I don't mind them coming over here. I just ask for a little bit of for it to be moderate, and a little bit of control, and make sure people come over here the right way, and they come over here in the same actions and they follow the same laws as everywhere else. I believe there's a proper way to do everything.
More left-wing, I would argue. She's probably the furthest left Democratic nominee in American history.
Yes, I would say that's
but there's people that are further left than her.
in the party,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think she still represents the center of the party.
See, we live together. We don't agree on
I
anything.
mean, in terms of, let's say, center left, center right, I think she's center left, but she's part of the center, I would say.
Huh, okay.
I mean, because look at who's on the far left. I mean, we got, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's on the far left, and she's going to take a big leadership in the next Congress.
Right.
So that is going to be a big deal. The party's changing.
Hopefully not.
The Democratic Party, what direction would you like to see them go in 2028? Somebody more moderate than Kamala Harris, or somebody further to the left?
Further to the left.
I want to say go more liberal.
More moderate, definitely, because I'm more of a centrist myself.
We have to overcorrect for what is about to happen, which I'm assuming, a lot of stuff is about to happen in the next 4 years that I'm personally not going to like.
There's goods and bads on both sides. The problem is the more leftist candidates you get, the more far left they get. So if you're a centrist, you're basically a rightist to a lot of different liberal minds.
Go left or go centrist. I don't know. They'd have to study and study and study this.
When people realize going liberal and going far left would be the same people who supporting spending taxpayer money on giving transgender criminals sex changes. The same people who believe that M. Frank should be in school when there's literal whole paragraphs, whole books about how she used to pleasure herself, and people will say that's not problematic. Far left will say, hey, parents shouldn't spank their kids because it's abuse. Far left will say, hey, it's not pedophile, it's children liking person. Far left will say, hey, it's okay for someone to be attracted to animals. Far left will say, hey, it's okay to do this. And far left will say, hey, you're a Christian, which means you're evil, which means you commit genocide, which means your guy is evil. Far left would be the same exact people who's claiming this nonsense, and people just expect us to be okay with it. The world dreaming this soccer every day. No, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is going to be the second video? Yeah, the third video coming out on Christmas Eve. And I do want to wish all of you a happy, very, very, very Christmas. And I really do hope you all enjoy it. So I'm not going to, oh my God, I don't know why I said enjoy, but I really do hope you guys enjoy your Christmas. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you learned something about people's perspectives. Yeah, I was saying people perspectives. But I really do hope you enjoy. And yes, I'm not going to be posting a video tomorrow on Wednesday because, it's Christmas and nobody's going to watch that video on Christmas. But I hope you all enjoy and have a very, very, very Merry Christmas.